Hello guys, let's start with next chapter of Loyal Pin Volume 2, Chapter 32, Hua Hin. The Saftarat family has a palace in Hua Hin called Pretty Firong Palace. It's a red brick building with a Spanish style. In the middle, there's a big building surrounded by three smaller ones. In the outer area, there are pavilions covered in ivy. The Grand Prince Group, which Lady Pilantita referred to as bringing everyone on a trip, includes Prince Anantavat, Lady Parvati, Prince Anand, Khun On, Chow Engfa, Princess Anil, Lady Pilantita, Pranot, Rick, Lai, and Lord Kuakut, who will join later in the afternoon. Additionally, there are 4 or 5 servants taking care of the palace. However, arranging where everyone would stay was simple. The Grand Prince and Lady Parvati decided to stay in a smaller palace for more privacy, while Vice Prince stayed in the West Palace. The other guests stayed in guest rooms in the main building. Princess Anil decided to stay alone in a bedroom at the top of a big tower because she wanted to remember her youth. The whole group traveled in a private car and arrived at the palace around noon. After lunch, everyone went their own way to relax. For instance, the Grand Prince and Lady Parvati, being a married couple, drove a red sports car to enjoy the breeze together. The siblings, Khun On and Khun On, along with Changfa, were excited to see the sea. They changed in swimsuits and had fun playing in the water. The women like Pelantita and Prick were busy with food preparations since they grew up in the palace. Lady Pin supervised Prick and the female servants in the courtyard as they prepared barbecue and grilled seafood. The male servants were busy too, carrying food and lighting the barbecue stove for grilling. Let me help you. No, please go for a walk on the beach and enjoy the sea. I'll stay here to supervise. As Princess Anil approached the fireplace, Planetita gently pushed her away, worried she might get burned by the steam and ash. Eventually, Princess Anil ended up sitting on a beach chair with their friend Pranot. Your Highness, Pranot whispered softly. Today Kunon seems more mischievous than anyone else. Hearing Pranot's words, Princess Anil suddenly, inevitably, looked towards Pranot's way to see that. At this time, the three young ladies with names starting with Kun Or, Kun On, Chongfa all were wearing colorful swimsuits and having fun in swimming in Huahan Sea. Not wanting to admit it, nevertheless, it had to acknowledge that Elisara, in a brightly colored red high cut one piece suit, inevitably stood out compared to Kun or Chongfa, who wore a fashionable sweet colored swim dress. It's a pity. Lady Pin doesn't go swimming like the others. It seems that Pranot's eyes, while looking at Lady Pilantita in a high colored sleeveless cotton shirt and shorts, disturbed Princess Anil's heart. That's absurd, Princess Anil said firmly. Don't speak about Lady Pin that way. I apologize, Your Highness, Pranot said, sounding less confident. You act like you have never met a woman before. I've heard that Khun Pranam only selects beautiful girls for you to admire every day. Is that true? Princess Anil mentioned Pranot's mother when she noticed Pranot acting differently than usual. Pranot chuckled. Your Highness, you don't know that each girl my mother chooses for me is indeed beautiful. But compared to the young women around you right now, they don't even come close. Is that so? Yes, Your Highness. Kun On looks elegant and beautiful from some angles, and her demeanor makes her seem chic, sleek, agile, fierce, and wealthy, like an ambassador's daughter. As for Choi Yong, she's even more beautiful and captivating as a northern girl. Her words are so sweet that I felt like melting when I talked to her. Pranot said dreamingly. Even Lady Parvati is still beautiful and charming, even though she's in a relationship. I'm starting to wonder when you'll stop with your nonsense. I'll stop at Lady Pen, Your Highness. Lady Pen is also beautiful and sweet. Many Thai men would easily fall in love with her. Most importantly, everyone would want Lady Pen as their wife. Pranot said while looking at Pilantita, who was busy grilling barbecue with brick. You are not worthy of Lady Pin Pranot, Princess Anil interrupted, not caring to hear the rest. Oh, Your Highness, Pranot responded, showing signs of being ignored. You stopped me so I can't finish. Really? Yes, Your Highness. But even if you hadn't stopped me, it seems Lady Pin isn't very happy with me. If you don't believe me, just look at her eyes. Princess Anil glanced at Lady Pilantita's jealous expression, but Pranot didn't notice it. It's like she dislikes all the men in the world. In any case, you're wise. I think so too. Pranot unintentionally agreed with Princess Anil before suddenly feeling as if someone was cursing him. Let's talk about something else. Among the beautiful women you mentioned, is there anyone you are interested in? Princess Anil quickly changed the subject. None, Your Highness. Really? Yes, Your Highness, said Pranot seriously. Certainly not Lady Parvati, as she belongs to the Grand Prince. The young man scratched his chin, deep in thought. As for Kunon, I have to exclude her because she might be the future wife of the Vice Prince. As for Kunon, I don't need to mention her. The fact that she remembers my name is enough. Lady Young, even though she seems sweet and speaks kindly, she doesn't seem to care about me. She seems to care more about you, Your Highness. What about Lady Pin? Can I cry here? I swear she can't stand me, Pranath exaggerately complained, pretending to feel very sad and alone until Princess Anil shook her head wearily. So, to sum it up, I can't get close to any of the beautiful women around you, Your Highness. They're still prick, Princess Anil suggested. Well, actually, I think I'd rather stay single, Pranath replied. Pranath's just very choosy, Princess Anil remarked. Maybe so, Your Highness. What are you talking about? Prince Anand asked as he joined them, sitting down casually on a beach chair next to Princess Anil. How many times do I have to tell you, Pranath? This is my sister, so don't do anything to her. The Vice Prince warned. I'm sorry, Your Highness, Pranath said, pretending to bow his head, but he couldn't hide a smile, knowing the Vice Prince was just teasing him as usual. I was just talking about the weather with Princess Anil. Ugh, maybe that's true, Pranath, the prince replied, swaying slightly as he watched the three women playing in the sea. Barbecue time, sir, Prick announced, bringing a large barbecue plate and setting it on the round white table carefully. Prince Anand tore his gaze away from the girls and spoke to Prick kindly. Prick, please invite Kunpin for me and pause grilling the barbecue. Wait for the women to come out of the sea before grilling more. Yes, sir, Prick agreed, bowing before hurrying off to the grill. But Princess Anil stopped her before she left. Just a moment, Prick, Princess Anil said with a smile before picking up two barbecue sticks and handing them to her close friend. Here, these are for you. Thank you, my lady, Prick replied, accepting the sticks respectfully. She looked at the juicy meat on them with shining eyes and swallowed. Looks delicious. Afterward, Prick hurried over to Lady Pilantita, who was grilling prawns and crabs under a Malabar tree with a lively demeanor, fitting to be the niece of Princess Padmika. Just give Prick some food. She always been like this since she was little. Prince Anand chuckled. Prick has always been mischievous. Maybe she learned it from her boss, Your Highness, Pranot joked, referring to Princess Anil. Pranot, Prince Anand and Princess Anil said together. I deserve punishment, Pranot said, though he was smiling and didn't seem sorry at all. Your Highness, Prick said, addressing Princess Anil. Lady Pilantita walked over to the Vice Prince, knowing it was her duty. Princess Anil glanced at her and couldn't help but smile secretly. She thought how smoothly Lady Pilantita has transformed from a fierce tiger to a gentle cat in front of the Vice Prince. Please have a seat, Kunpin. You have been standing and grilling barbecue for a while. Your legs must be tired, the Vice Prince offered, gesturing for Lady Pin to sit in a chair next to Pranath. However, Lady Pin remained standing because she wanted to sit next to Princess Anil. Luckily, Pranot realized this and quickly stood up, offering his seat to Lady Pin. Thank you, Your Highness, Lady Pin said, smiling secretly, then gazing blankly at the sea where the three women were playing. Lady Palantita couldn't help but stare at Princess Anil as she chatted with the Vice Prince. Where did the Grand Prince take Lady Vati for a drive? They haven't returned yet. It's normal for them. They have been sweet since they got married. That's great, brother. I'm eager to hold my niece soon. It might take some time. At this point, the conversation suddenly fell silent. Princess Anil and the Vice Prince both glanced at Changfa simultaneously without saying anything. Lady Pilantita noticed this and couldn't help feeling jealous, as she was sure Princess Anil was showing interest in Changfa. However, Princess Anil's expression was as serious as the Vice Prince, so Pilantita decided to give her the benefit of doubt this time. Hello, Your Highness. A familiar voice interrupted the silence. It was Lord Kuakat, who had been invited by Prince Anand to join them. After being offered a seat, Lord Kuakat stood still, similar to how Lady Pilantita had moments before. Naturally, Lord Kuakat wanted to sit next to Lady Pilantita. However, this time, Pranot showed no intention of getting up to let Lord Kuakat sit as quickly as he had with Lady Pin. The young man hesitated for a moment. Eventually, Lord Kuakat gave in and reluctantly sat in the chair next to Pranot instead. Meanwhile, Princess Anil glanced at Lady Pilantita secretly. When she noticed Lady Pin's stunned expression upon seeing Lord Kuakat, Princess Anil felt somewhat relieved. Then three women emerged from the sea and walked towards the three chairs. Prince Anand quickly grabbed a towel and wrapped it around Khun. Pranot debated whether to get towels for the other two single women or wait for them to get towels themselves. However, Lady Pilantita didn't hesitate. She grabbed two towels and handed them to Kun On and Changfa as soon as they reached the beach. Pranot felt stunned, regretting his hesitation and realizing he missed an opportunity. Lady Pilantita, on the other hand, wanted to prevent Princess Anel from seeing too much of Kunon and Shangfa's smooth, clear skin. Lady Pilantita's actions didn't necessarily mean she was as generous as people thought. Meanwhile, Prick, seeing the three women emerge from the sea without neglecting her duties, quickly grilled crabs and fish as she had promised the Vice Prince. Go, take a shower and change your clothes first, then come eat seafood. Prince Anand said gently to Kunon, but it sounded like an order to Kunon and Shangfa. Everyone followed his instructions. Prick seized the opportunity to grill shrimp, shellfish, crabs, and fish with the great determination. Finally, the grilled seafood was ready by late afternoon when the three young women arrived. The Grand Prince and Lady Parvati returned around the same time. Everyone gathered around a long table in the palace garden, which offered a view of the Hua Hin beach. The table was filled with various sweet and savory dishes and colorful drinks. Are you looking for someone, Kunon? Who had been scanning the area for someone a while. Oh, Kun Pranot, I'm trying to find Lady Pen. I didn't see her eating seafood with us, even though she was the one who cooked it. Elisara lied. Oh, she ate after you changed your clothes, just a little while ago. Princess Anil invited her and Prick for a walk on the beach to help digest the food. Pranot replied, Is that true? Alisara's expression darkened. Since that incident, she decided to distance herself from her close friend, Princess Anil. She avoided meeting her, even at university, and stopped inviting her to stay at over the ambassador's residence. Despite facing many complicated situations, Elisara managed to navigate through them without letting her emotions overwhelm her. On the other hand, her oldest sister, Oneda, became romantically involved with Prince Anand to the point of getting engaged, which led to her reconnecting with Princess Anil again. Before, when they rarely saw each other, Elisara's decision would have been easier. But this time, there was a reason for them to meet often, as she was known as Princess Anil's closest friend. Refusing Khun On's invitation to Saftarat Palace seemed too suspicious. However, the more they met, the more Elisara felt her old feelings of affection for Princess Anil return quickly. Even though Princess Anil seemed distant, Alisara longed for her even more. We have met a few times in England. Pranot started the conversation again when he noticed Alisara seemed distracted. Kunon might not remember me. I do. Pranot often picks up Princess Anil from university, Alice replied. I'm glad you remembered me, Pranot said with a wide smile. Are you coming back here or going back to England again? I'm going back. I still have another semester to study left. It's different from Princess Anil, who graduated half a year ago. Before, I planned to study for master's degree there, Alisara explained. Princess Anil misses this place a lot. She wouldn't even consider continuing her master's degree there, she added, sighing. Even if she stayed for another half year, she still wouldn't accept it, let alone pursue a master's degree, Alisara concluded, gazing towards the beach, searching for someone. Prick's walk on the beach looked strange as she held two pairs of shoes, Princess Anil's on her left and Lady Pilantita's on her right. Unfortunately, Prick couldn't walk comfortably, constantly looking around with caution. Anil shouldn't have asked Prick to watch out for both of us. It seems to make people suspicious, Pilantita remarked, walking barefoot on the foam along the beach with Princess Anil. That's true, Princess Anil laughed. I just wanted Prick to keep an eye out, but now she looks scarier than anyone else. Princess Anil wanted to hold Lady Pilantita's hand as they walked along the deserted beach. Lady Pen was still nervous about being seen by others, so Princess Anil stayed close to Pilantita. Is the sea calm and soothing today, Anil? Lady Pen suddenly asked as they stopped to admire the view of the Hua Hin Sea in the late afternoon. How can the sea be calm, Kunpin? It's actually a dark blue color today. Princess Anil replied. It's not always like that, Anil. I've noticed you staring at it for a while. It might appear white and smooth, Lady Pilantita suggested playfully, scooping up sand with her foot and piling it on Princess Anil's feet. Princess Anil laughed and returned the gesture, leaving Prick, who was watching over them, feeling weary. You're accusing me? But I didn't even stare, Princess Anil protested. Pilantita huffed in annoyance. I'm more interested in the person grilling shrimp and crabs for me to eat. Pilantita smiled satisfactorily, ending the sand kicking game and turning to talk to Princess Anil in a gentle voice. By the way, you didn't eat much even though you like grilled shrimp. When you were a child, you used to eat a lot while playing around the palace. You're right. I don't know why I could eat so much back then, Princess Anil said, smiling and deepening the dimples on her cheeks. Thinking about those times make me feel regretful. What do you regret? Pilantita asked. I regret not being near you for 7 years, Princess Anil replied, looking into Pilantita's eyes. Pilantita then held Princess Anil's hand, making Prick feel uneasy, like someone who had lost their balance again. It's in the past. Don't be sad. Just promise me you won't leave me again. That's all I need, Lady Pin said, her voice sweet but her eyes even sweeter. I'll promise I'll never leave you again. What about your studies? You won't just graduate with bachelor's degree, will you? I'm worried about this. Pilantita expressed her concerns. I'll continue my studies here. I have asked Luang Finet to help me. It will be at the Faculty of Architecture at your old university. Lady Pin reassured hearing this. Princess Anil reassured. Hearing this, Pilantita breathed a sigh of relief. Are you telling the truth? I always keep my promises. Before they hugged each other in joy, Prick pretended to be annoyed. Don't do that. Don't do that. But the couple paid no attention to Prick's annoyance. I already told you not to, Pilantita said firmly. As evening approached, the main hall of Pretty Firome Palace was bathed in a soft yellow glow. The folding doors opened, revealing a serene view of the quiet beach, with waves crashing rhythmically. You always have such good taste, Kunon, complimented Prince Anand, his fiancée, on his choice of modern international music for dancing. Prince Anand bowed graciously and invited Kunon to start the dancing. The couple glided smoothly across the dance floor to the admiration of the guests. Seeing this, the Grand Prince quickly bowed and asked his wife to dance as well. Thus, the atmosphere in the hall was filled with love. Meanwhile, Lord Kuakat repeatedly asked Lady Pilantetta to dance, but she refused until the Vice Prince intervened. Please dance with Lord Kuakat for one song, Lady Pen. Consider it my request. The Vice Prince urged. Yes, sir. Pilantetta agreed reluctantly. Pilantetta responded softly as Lord Kua smiled with satisfaction. However, Lady Pen's dancing looked odd. Her body seemed stiff, and she kept her distance from her partner until Lord Kua reached out to touch her waist. Yuck! Princess Anil whispered to her friend Prick, watching Lord Kua's actions. I feel the same way about Lord Kua, Prick agreed, rolling her eyes. Why do you feel that way? Princess Anil asked. I am upset because Lady Pen didn't want to dance, so why didn't Lord Kua ask me instead? Prick explained. Prick, Princess Anil scolded. Know that I dislike Lord Kua very much. I'm sorry, my lady, I deserve to be punished, Prick said, bowing her head. If you praise Lord Kua again, you'll be in trouble, Princess Anil warned. I'm scared now, Prick said, bowing her head like someone afraid of punishment. Look at Pranot. He's brave enough to bow and ask Hunon to dance, Princess Anil observed. Princess Anil glanced at her friend, who had approached Hunon to ask her to dance. At first, Hunon seemed uncomfortable and briefly met Princess Anil's eyes. Hunon quickly looked away. The dancing time was short, and soon the table was set for dinner. They all looked delicious, Lady Parvati commented. The dinner consisted of Western dishes like beef steak, fish steak, and pasta, prepared by a hotel chef at the palace. The conversation at dinner table was pleasant. Kunon and Pranot got along well, making the atmosphere lively. During the meal, Princess Anil noticed Kunon's eyes occasionally glancing at her. But when Princess Anil looked up, Kunon quickly looked away. It was unlike the gestures of the other young women. After finishing the main meal, Chow Ying-fa seemed particularly excited about the dessert plate of panna cotta served with western fruit in front of her. Sister, please eat a lot, Chow Ying-fa said softly. The dessert looks delicious. Thank you, Khonong, Lantita replied quietly, setting down her knife and fork. She took a sip of water, trying to control her emotions. Princess Anel noticed Pilantita's gestures from the corner of her eye. After eating only a small portion of the dessert, she spoke softly to her own brothers. Can I go rest for a bit? Maybe because I have been sitting and staring at the sea all day. I have a bit of headache. Hearing Princess Anil's words, Kunon, Kunyung, and Kunpin all asked at the same time, Is your headache severe? So Princess Anil could only ponder. At first, I just pretended like that, but as time goes by, now it seems like I have a headache. So, with this, we end our chapter, and I'll meet you tomorrow with next chapter, chapter 33.